Welcome to the High Voltage Light Electric Vehicle channel. This video is a bit of an update where I am with the rebuild of my Fatbike. This bike is where this channel began, so there is quite a bit of interest here in this bike. Right now I'm at the stage of painting the frame. Once that's out of the way, the rest of the bike is back together. I'll be doing some much more detailed videos on how the high voltage upgrade kit gets installed, which has been on the list to do for quite a long time. Before I get started on this, I'm going to say right now, this is not intended to be some kind of tutorial on how to spray paint a bike frame. Although I have spent quite a long time watching videos and speaking to people, this will be the first time I've spray painted a frame. So I'm going to outline what I'm doing with this and the choices that I've made, but that's all. I love to learn new skills and I've always wanted a different color on this frame, so here we go. To get a decent result, two things stood out, and that was the amount of time taken to prep the frame being the most important to get the acceptable finish. So after I removed dirt and grime with the degreaser, I used an 80 grit all the way up to a 200 grit to remove the clear coat and get down to the paint. I'm painting it black and there's no loose paint, so going down to bare metal apparently was not needed based on the information that I read and watched. I've set up my spray area here outside and I'll be letting the coats dry inside. I'm going to be wearing a respirator here and also eye protection for safety purposes. I'm starting off with a base coat primer, and this is an all-in-one product. The frame has been cleaned first with 99% ISO, and I've masked off various areas as well. This is basically to remove any kind of dust, grease from my fingerprints during the sanding processes. The technique I'm going to be attempting here is to build it up gradually in thin layers, focusing on the hard to hit areas first, basically to avoid building up too much paint in the areas like around the chainstay and the bottom bracket, things like that. I'm going to show you how it goes come what may, and whether I make an arse out of it or not, and you can have a laugh at my expense. Anyway, enjoy, and hopefully at the end of this we'll have a lovely black frame ready to get built back into the Fatbike. Okay, so this is the frame so far. I've given it a couple of very light coats, and I'm mainly trying to get an even coat in these sections without getting too much built up on the tubes, because the tubes are easy to hit, so they'll be hit eventually. At least that's what I've been told from the expert YouTubers that do this kind of stuff. So I'm just working all the way around the bike gradually. So this is the first real sort of light coat, and I'm going to give it another light coat, and then apparently I give it a slightly more heavy coat, and then that should be the priming done. Okay, so I'm starting to come to the end here of the priming phase. I focused very heavily on getting a nice even coat around where the tricky bits are, where the tubes butt together, down here where you have the rear axle, through axle running through. There's still a few places where I'm a bit light, so I'm going to keep building up gradually, patiently, in light layers until I've got a really nice even coat all the way over the top of that, and then I can give it I believe, I've got to check my instructions, I think I have to give it a light sanding, and then I can move on to doing the top coat. Okay, so this is the base coat finished, well, as good as I can get it. So I'm happy with the coverage. I'm happy that I haven't got any kind of like really sort of visible runs. So as per the instructions, I'm going to let this dry inside for half an hour, and once that's done I'm going to be sanding it with 800 grit, and that helps apparently the bonding of the top coat, and then we'll get cracking on the black top coat layer. So this is after the first coat of black, and I'm just again trying to build it up really nice and gradually, focusing on the kind of key areas here and trying not to build up too much on the tubes before I get the key areas done, which is around like the chainstays where the tubes meet together. So I'll keep building those up and we'll have another look in a minute. So this is where we are after getting the black paint on, and like, it's not a professional job, but I'm pretty happy with how it looks. So the last part here is now to get the clear coat on, and then I'm going to be letting this cure for a week approximately, and then I can get the bike rebuilt. So this is the frame finished with 3 coats of clear coat on there. I used the matte clear coat. I didn't want anything super shiny with this. The clear coat, God, it stinks. I'm so glad that I used the organic cartridges in the mask and everything, because it's just vile smell. I don't know how people at paint shops handle being around that smell all day. Maybe they get used to it. But anyway, it's my first go at doing a frame. I'm pleased with it, how it went. I think there's definite room for improvement. If I do another one, maybe I'll go for doing a bit of design. Originally I was going to do a bit of yellow and red flecks or lines somewhere for the high voltage colours, but I decided not to overcomplicate it on the first job. So yeah, this is a finished article, and I'm going to leave this to harden and cure for a week, and then I'm going to get the bike back together, and I'm really looking forward to that because it's been a while since I've got to ride the Fatbike. And we'll get the HV kit on there, and I'll do some install videos to help people with all that. So that's the frame. Thanks very much for watching. Like I say, I wouldn't use this as a tutorial or anything, but hopefully people enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Cheers.